Hello all, I'm here today to show you my 2018 Inktober Sketchbook. First I'm going to show you some of the supplies that I used. This year I wanted to mostly just use markers instead of the typical pen and ink, so I used a lot of warm and cool gray Copic sketch markers. I used Pentel pocket ink brush, which has the very nice brush point. I used the standard micron pens just in black, and then for my highlights I used the white Jelly Roll gel pens. So these were really nice. I ordered them a couple days in because I didn't want to use my white charcoal pencils since it wasn't actually ink, so I got these and they actually worked really well. I was very pleased with how they turned out. This year I was using the Tan Tone Sketchbook. I really like how the grayscale markers go on the toned paper. I really love that look, so this is the notebook I decided to use. And this year for the prompt list, I kind of wanted to do a Lord of the Rings theme. I thought that would be really fun, but not all the prompts actually worked with it, and other prompts I just liked other ideas better. So they're not all Lord of the Rings, but you will see a lot of Lord of the Rings pictures throughout this challenge. Alright, day one was Poisonous. I did the poison apple from Snow White. That was very iconic. Last year they had the prompt Poisonous, in which I did the, not poisonous, poison. This one's Poisonous. Last year they had Poison, and I did the llama poison from Emperor's New Groove. That was really fun, but this year I just decided to do the apple. I was originally going to do Shelob from Lord of the Rings, but spiders are venomous, not poisonous, so I couldn't do that, which was kind of sad, but I took it very literally. I know other people did spiders and snakes and things, but I decided to take it literally and mean actual poison, which is ingested instead of injected. So, day two was Tranquil. So I thought, what is more tranquil than Hobbiton? So I drew a hobbit hole, the front door of a hobbit hole, from Hobbiton and the Shire. I love how this picture turned out. It's very pretty, in my opinion. It just made me really happy. It's very peaceful and tranquil. Day three was Roasted. Now originally I was going to do Sam boiling potatoes boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew. Very iconic, but I couldn't find a good reference for that, so instead I went with Eowyn's stew, in which it was not very good, and Aragorn was trying very hard to politely not eat it, if possible. So this is his face of, oh, this is really bad stew. It was really fun drawing this. It's a very funny part of the movie. Day four was Spell. So I went with the Beast spell from Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast is one of my favorite Disney movies. So I love the rose. I just thought it turned out really well, and yeah, I really like how it turned out. Day five was Chicken. So I drew Hey Hey from Moana. This is one of my favorite pictures. I just love how it turned out. Very happy with it. Yeah. The retarded chicken. It was pretty much pointless, but it was really funny into the movie. Day six was Drooling. So I drew a warg from Lord of the Rings. Obviously drooling. There's not much to it, just very basic. Day seven was Exhausted. Now originally I was going to draw Sam and Frodo in Mordor when they are so close to being done, but they don't think they can actually do it. They're just thoroughly exhausted. But again, I couldn't find a reference that I liked, and so I went with this instead, Mr. Incredibles and Jack Jack from Incredibles 2. If you've not seen that movie, it was really good, and I love this picture. It makes me very happy. And I was also feeling like this at the time I drew it. It was probably well after midnight when I actually got around to drawing this, so I was thoroughly exhausted, and it seemed to go very well with the theme. Day 8 was Star. So I did the iconic Even Star, which is Arwen's necklace that she gives to Aragorn to show her love. He carries it throughout the whole of the movies. I really like how it actually looks kind of metallic. I was kind of scared that it wouldn't, but it turned out very nicely, which I was very happy about. Day 9 is Precious. So obviously I had to do the Precious, the ring from Lord of the Rings. I didn't want to do Gollum because that seemed kind of cliche. Everyone thinks when they hear Precious, they think of Gollum with a ring. And it was actually also very precious to Frodo as well. He resisted it better than Gollum, but it still took a hold on him. And I think he actually even calls it his precious at some point. And so I didn't want to do the normal, but it also calls to Frodo as well. And even in here, there's kind of a reflection of Frodo, which I thought was super cool. When I found the picture, I was like, that is so awesome that it's reflective and everything. Day 10 was Flowing. When I heard Flowing, I thought of Éowyn up in Edoras in Rohan. The wind, flowing her hair and dress. I couldn't find a very good reference, but I drew it anyways. Not super happy with it, but I was busy that day and I just had to get it done. Got it out. It's definitely probably the worst picture of this challenge, so kind of disappointing, but it's there. Day 11 was Cruel. So obviously I had to draw Cruella de Vil, and this picture is probably my favorite of Cruella when she's driving madly down the road. I actually haven't seen the movie, which is kind of, I don't know, it's kind of sad. But I know who Cruella de Vil is, and I know the basic storyline. We had the book of it, the Disney book. But this is my favorite picture of her, and it was really, really fun to draw. Day 12 was Whale. When I heard Whale, the prompt, I was kind of disappointed. I was like, couldn't think of, well, there's nothing in Lord of the Rings that was like a whale that I could think of, and anything else. And that day I was not artistically inspired. I just kind of wanted to get it done with the simplest thing I could, so I found one of the simplest drawings I could, which is Destiny from Finding Dory. Drew it, got it out of the way, got it done, was able to move on with my life. Day 13 was Guarded, so I drew Ronan from Epic. Not only is he the Queen's guard and the guard of all the people, but he's also a very guarded person. He takes a little bit longer to trust people, I think, and so I thought it was really fun to draw him and the stance and everything. It took a long time, but I'm very happy with how it turned out. Day 14 was Clock, so I drew Randall and Mike when Randall is demonstrating to Mike how the clock works when this hand is up and that hand is down, when he's threatening Mike. I thought it was a very exciting take on Clock. And I love Monsters, Inc. Watched it growing up. Super awesome movie. It was really fun to draw this. Day 15 was Weak. So I drew Isildur from Lord of the Rings. He had the chance to throw away the ring in Mount Doom, but he was weak and the ring took power over him, led him astray, and so he did not destroy it, which was very sad. But the movie, the whole story wouldn't have happened if he had just thrown it in the fire, so I guess, the story wouldn't be there if it weren't for him. But he was still weak. Day 16 was Angular. And what angular character is there? Like, who is more angular than Yzma from The Emperor's New Groove? I love drawing Yzma. I've drawn her several times before, and it's so much fun every time I draw her. She's super fun to draw, and she is angular, scary beyond all reason. You get the point. She's very fun to draw. Day 17 was Swollen. So I drew Goob from Meet the Robinsons after he was beat up by his baseball teammates for sleeping on the job and missing the catch. This picture makes me a little sad because, I mean, look at him. Poor Goob. And I love Goob and Bowler Hat Guy. That movie wouldn't be very interesting without them. So, I loved drawing this. It was really fun. And I feel so sorry for him. Day 18 was Bottle. I thought about drawing a genie in a bottle, but I also really wanted to draw a realistic, either plastic or glass picture. And last year I did glass for Shattered. So this year I did plastic. And I'm really happy with how it turned out. When I was drawing it, I didn't think it was turning out well, but after I finished it and stepped away, came back, looked at it, then I was much more happy with it. And it actually does look relatively realistic. And then if you flip it over, you kind of get like the angle from, you know, close to far, which I think is really cool. I like how it looks upside down, almost better than right side up. Day 19 was Scorched. So I drew the Balrog from Lord of the Rings. Now, I copied this picture, so I can't take full credit for the design and everything. Whoever originally created this picture, they are awesome and amazing. And it was so much fun to copy. And naturally, it's slightly different because I used different medium and things. But whoever drew it first was amazing. And I had so much fun with this one. This is probably my favorite picture of the whole challenge. It makes me really, really, really happy. It took forever, but it makes me really happy. Day 20 was Breakable, so I drew Beauty and the Beast. This is after the spell was broken, so not only, it's glass, it's a mosaic. Not only can glass be broken, it's breakable, but every spell can be broken. So it has a double meaning in this picture, which I really liked. Day 21 was Drain. So I did Gimli draining his mug of beer when he and Legolas were having the drinking challenge in the extended scene from the Two Towers. It's really funny and makes me really happy. Yeah. Day 22 was Expensive. Now I really like Smee. He is probably my favorite character from Peter Pan. And so I wanted to get him into the challenge somehow, and this was the way I decided to do it, was with Expensive. These are Captain Hook's very expensive golden accessories. For day 23, I drew, the prompt was Muddy. So originally I was going to draw the leaf of Lorien that Pippin dropped into the mud. I think it was Pippin, either Pippin or Merry. Dropped into the mud for Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli to find because Pippin and Merry had been captured. But I couldn't find a good reference story of my life, so I decided to draw Gaston after he got rejected by Belle. Now I drew this picture last year, last Inktober, but I did it in pen and ink, so I wanted to see the differences of style and just the pictures in general. I actually have it here. So you can see the pen and ink, very simplistic, and then the grayscale markers. I'm not actually sure which one I like better. I think this one might be more accurate to the original reference, but I also really like this one. I don't know. I couldn't decide. If you have an opinion, you could let me know in the comments. Day 24 was Chop. When I saw this prompt, I immediately thought of the Uruk-hai head from Lord of the Rings that was stuck on the pike when the Rohirrim destroyed the Uruk-hai who had captured Merry and Pippin. It was definitely the most gory picture I've done, and I don't really do gory much, so I was a little hesitant, but I also thought it would be kind of epic because it was showing all the other Uruk-hai out there. You know, you don't come into Rohan or this will happen to you. So it was really fun, though gory. Day 25 was Prickly. This prompt was a little difficult, but when I looked up Prickly on the internet, the Bare Necessities song came on when he was talking about the prickly pear, and to use the claw and not the paw or you'll get pricked. And day 26 was Stretch. I thought a Cheshire Cat's smile because it kind of stretches and keeps going on seemingly forever. Originally I was going to, well, I thought about doing just his smile, eyes, and nose in black and white kind of silhouette style, but I decided to give it a shot at just doing his head because in the live action movie his head just kind of floats around, and Cheshire is my favorite character from Alice in Wonderland. I was kind of skeptical to see if it would actually look like Cheshire, but it did, and I'm super happy. This is probably my second favorite. Hey Hey would be third. Cheshire is my second favorite picture. Balrog comes in first, but second favorite. I'm really happy with how this one turned out. And day 27 was Thunder, so of course I had to do the God of Thunder or Lord of Thunder or Sparkles, depending on who you ask. I've drawn Thor in the past, but it was really fun to do his newest look with the short hair, the lightning and everything. Very dynamic. It was really fun to draw. And day 28 was Gift. I was originally going to do the Light of Arendelle, the gift that Galadriel gives Frodo, but I couldn't find a good reference, of course. Didn't really feel like drawing that, so instead I did this. Beauty and the Beast, like I said, is my favorite Disney movie, or one of, and I also love reading, so when the Beast gifted the library to Belle, that's my favorite part. I thought about actually drawing like the whole library, but that sounded like way too much work for one day, so I just kept it at this when he's gifting it to her. Day 29, prompt was double, so of course I had to do Lord of the Rings Double Trouble, Pippin and Merry, or Merry and Pippin. I'm not happy with how Merry's face turned out. He looks really grumpy. In the reference, he, I think, heard something, and he was trying to figure out what it was, if they were in danger or something, but it just looks grumpy on here. I was kind of disappointed with that. But Pippin, he actually turned out pretty well, and looks very Pippin-ish, like he doesn't really know what's going on, and just thinks life's hilarious. Day 30, the prompt was Jolt, so I did Wild and Hops from Zootopia. Originally I was going to do Merry and Pippin when they were tied to the Uruk-hai's backs, just being jolted, carrying, but I couldn't find a good reference, and I just drawn Merry and Pippin, so I didn't really feel like drawing them 2 days in a row. So I did this instead, and I really like the emotion and expression in this picture. The final day, day 31, was Slice. Now Fred is my favorite character from Big Hero 6. One of my favorite, probably just general animated characters. He's super awesome. So I drew him eating his invisible sandwich. Now, you might wonder where Slice comes in. Well, obviously the slices of bread on his invisible sandwich. It's a long shot, but I had to get Fred in here somehow. Especially since I just watched Big Hero 6 again. I was kind of dying to draw him. So this picture makes me really happy, whether it's super accurate to the prompt or not. It makes me really happy. And it was a great way to end off 2018 Inktober. So that is my Inktober sketchbook. Thank you for watching.